Prince of Persia is a video game series that I loved growing up, and when I heard that it was coming back, I could not wait to get my hands on it. So much so, when I was accepted into the Ubisoft creator program, this was the first game that was available to me. So I just want to say a huge thank you to Ubisoft for providing me with access to the game. And did you know that pressing both like and subscribe, you are automatically given a platinum trophy? Try it out. With that said, let's get into the trophies. In total, we are looking at 31 of them. 11 of them are bronze, 14 are silver, 5 are gold, and of course the platinum trophy itself. As I played this game early, there are no guides on how to do a lot of the collectible based trophies. Thankfully though, there are ways in the game that can help me find these collectibles in the form of a necklace and amulets. More on these later though. Before we get into the trophies though, this is your spoiler warning. There will be parts of this game where I need to talk about the story. This of course will spoil the stories for you, so you have been warned. I will tell you again later on, just one final warning just to make sure that you are aware. So to start things off, I am still learning the controls for combat and test out a couple of things on the enemies at the beginning of the game. When you sprint, you always start with a slide, and coming out of this slide you can kick the enemies up into the air. Eliminating 30 enemies in the air gives you the trophy Air Dancer. One of the last trophies we will get in this video is called Charitable Soul, which requires us to complete every side quest. One of the side quests involves us defeating lost warriors. Those are people that have been trapped in Mount Kaf due to the curse and they are unable to escape. For defeating one of the lost warriors, we receive the trophy An Honorable End. Now, I definitely didn't get this next trophy by complete accident, despite what the gameplay is showing right now. This next trophy is called Deadly Trap, and it requires us to eliminate 5 enemies by throwing them into spikes. Instead of throwing, I definitely 100% meant to kick this enemy into the air and for it to be eliminated on the spikes. Anyway, it is time for our first big boss fight, and this boss is called Jahandar, also known as the Man-Eater. In this fight, I take full advantage of something that we acquired earlier on, known as Athra Surge. These are special abilities that you can use during a fight. After using a spin attack one, taking a lot of the Man-Eater's health, we are backed into a corner, but I managed to get another hit off, causing the Man-Eater to fall, and for us to get the trophy, the Man-Eater. It is time for a mini boss fight now, and this is where another spoiler warning is needed. You have been warned now, and this is the final time. After following someone, we come across a sort of crack, and who steps out of it? It is us. Well, an alternative version of us. There are multiple versions of us that actually chose a different path to the one that we are currently on. And after a quick fight with ourselves, we received the trophy Parallel Universe. It is at this point I discovered that you can actually explore the world fully after completing the game. So of course, at least 95% of the next couple of trophies that I mention are all boss battle related. Our next boss fight is against somebody known as Kiana. This is definitely one of the harder fights that I've had in the game so far, and it took me a couple of attempts to actually win. In this fight, it literally came down to me having 1 health left, but I managed to get the last hit in before they were about to attack, rewarding us with the trophy, the Forest Trespasser. Now, I thought that the boss we fought was quite difficult, while this next one took that difficulty up another notch. This boss is known as Azdaha. While all of the bosses so far have been on the same side-scrolling platform that I am on, the main body of this boss is actually in the background. You are only able to hit it at certain points, and to hit part of the body that is on the same level of you, which is the head, you have to jump, which means hitting the enemy less than I would actually like. Eventually though, after many attempts that I actually lost count of, I finally managed to defeat Azdaha for the trophy Snake in the Sand. Now let's take a short break from boss fights with this next trophy, and let's talk about how you can actually upgrade your weapons. there is something that you can collect called Azure Damascus Ingot. With this, you can head back to the forge and use this and the time crystals. The time crystals are crystals that actually drop after defeating enemies, which are also a currency, to upgrade your weapons. These upgrades can improve the amount of damage that you are doing to enemies. For now though, we have collected our 5th one for the trophy, Natural Resources. Break time is over though, time to get back into talking about boss fights. Our next boss fight is up against a friend of ours at the beginning of the game known as Urad. Due to some misinformation being spread about me, Urad believes that we have betrayed everyone and he wants to defeat us. After a very intense battle, we learn a new Athra Surge in battles to just defeat Urad. When using this surge, we defeat Urad for the trophy, the Stormmaster. Now the game definitely turned down the difficulty with the boss fight, well with that last boss fight, but with this next one they turned it up. Menelaus is another person who believed all of the misinformation that was being spread about me. This fight took many attempts, but eventually after getting his health low enough, we learn another Athra Surge mid-fight to take him down, giving us the trophy, Fist and Arrows. Oh wait, did I say that that last fight difficulty was turned up? Well, this next one was just, it was off the scale. I do eventually realise why I was having trouble with this and why I was struggling, but that didn't happen until I pretty much got my ass handed to me a lot by Vahara. Remember earlier when I was collecting all of those ingots and I told you about upgrading weapons? Well, I didn't actually upgrade them, but after getting beat one too many times, I actually upgrade everything, come back and take him on again. And while it did help, Varum was still on another level, but eventually with enough practice from basically getting my ass handed to me and learning what he was going to do, I managed to take him down, which gave me the trophy, the White Lion. Another small quick break, a lot quicker of a break than the last one. I managed to finally collect a total of 10,000 time crystals, which gave us the trophy, All the Time in the World. We are of course now back to boss fights, and this time we come up against King Darius, who was actually killed by the current queen. The fight was tough, but nothing like what we have come up against already. As long as you stayed up in the air, you could dodge all of the dangerous attacks, and when he was in the air, they were easily dodged as well. For beating King Darius, we received the trophy, King of Kings. Now, Varum didn't like the fact that we bested him in the last fight that we had, so he did the logical thing of getting all of the power and turning himself into a god. Now, in his god form, there are a total of 4 stages, and he has a wide range of attacks, let's just say that. He does dodge quite a lot though, which is really annoying. It would just be great if he stood still so I could just attack. On the 4th stage as well, there are at times 2 of him, but dodging and parrying are the key to this fight. During the final stage though, we actually become a Super Saiyan, where all of our powers are multiplied and we can pretty much stay in the air the entire time. And with a scene straight out of My Hero Academia, we use our new Aethra Surge to deal a devastating blow to beat Varum and receive the trophy, the End of Times. And with that, the story has been completed and the grind begins. We are 14 trophies deep, meaning without counting the Platinum Trophy, we still have another 16 trophies left to collect. The large majority of these are of course collectibles. Throughout the map there are these whack trees, I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. This is where you go to heal yourself and restock on potions. Some of them actually come with whack head, and these are the ones that we actually want for this next trophy. It looks as though we actually only missed a couple, so after going around and finding them, we received the trophy, Tree of Life. Not a collectible trophy now, we have to do something mean. We have to use the Dimensional Claw to take an enemy and throw it at another enemy. This will cause the enemy that we captured to be on our side for a small period of time. Somehow though, the enemy that I captured ended up losing the fight, but I still got the trophy called Betrayal. It's mini boss fight time now. Yes, we are not done with them yet. We have to defeat someone known as the Jailer. He seems to just put people in jail for seemingly no reason, so of course we have to take him out. After quickly finishing him off, we receive the trophy, Time Served. Now this next trophy took me a while to get, as I had not been defeating enemies at all using this technique. When an enemy emits a gold colour, this means that if you parry at the right time, you can defeat them straight away. This is known as an opportunity attack. I need to do this a total of 20 times, and I think I've done this twice up to this point, and one of those times was actually the game teaching me about it at the beginning. So I went to an area where the enemy seemed to do it a lot more than others and just went around performing these attacks. Finally, I got the last one by stabbing someone in the back for the trophy, Shock Trooper. Now, the second trophy that we achieved in this video was called an Honourable End, for defeating one of the Lost Warriors. We have now defeated all 8 and we return to the old general who gave us the quest to begin. However, the old general has turned into one of what the warriors had become, so we must defeat him as well. For defeating the old general and completing the side quest, we received the trophy, A Warrior's End. Now remember those 8 resurges we've been using? Well, I have finally collected them all, but collecting them all isn't actually a trophy. Using them is. So I started battling enemies using the attacks, and we finally get the trophy, Warrior Within. Another side quest now. This time I had to help somebody known as the Moon Gatherer. There are specific locations all around the map that he can appear at, and thankfully the side quest tells us the area that he's in. Going to these locations, I always seem to need to save him from something, whether it's enemies or the fact that he has managed to somehow trap himself. Eventually though, after saving him one final time, we are rewarded with an additional healing potion and of course the trophy, the True Moon. It was also at this point where I had discovered that one of the side quests has glitched and I couldn't complete it. And unfortunately, due to this, it would mean I would have to do a second playthrough and do all of the main game and side quests again, in hopes that it doesn't glitch for a second time. The side quest in question is not accessible until much later on in the game as well, so I have to pretty much go through it all. It was at this point I decided I would do every trophy possible aside from the quest, then start a new game just to focus solely on the main game and the side quests. Up until this point, I was actually enjoying the game a lot, but knowing I had to do it all again straight after with no new game plus, it kinda left a sour taste in my mouth. Hopefully they come out with a patch soon to fix this and it doesn't happen to any of you that play this. I believe this is quite a rare thing. From the people that have played it so far, it seems to be sort of a hit and miss on whether or not it actually happens to you. So let's get back into the trophies then. The next trophy I definitely didn't get by complete accident. I definitely wasn't just exploring the map more, collecting collectibles, and definitely didn't accidentally stumble upon a camp area which gave us the trophy Cirrus Lasto. That definitely wasn't the case at all. Moving on, as I'm exploring around the map more and more, going to places I hadn't been yet, as I was focusing on the story, I fell off the side of the map, which was actually a good thing as I had discovered a ghost ship which also gave me the trophy called Spectre of the Seas. Our collecting days are almost over as I collected a lot of jars of sand. Well, technically I didn't collect them, I destroyed them to be given a prophecy for a side quest. I also made a separate video on this as a trophy guide, so be sure to check that out after this video. There were 30 in total that I needed to collect, and in areas that I didn't even know existed. For completing the prophecy, I received a trophy written in the sand. While working on another side quest, I completed a puzzle that rewarded me with a chest. Within this chest was the final piece of the necklace, which meant it had now been fully upgraded, and for having a fully upgraded necklace, we received a trophy, Glory of Faravaha? Yeah, however you pronounce that word. This next trophy I could have gotten hours ago, but I had just not used this lift to go to another floor after collecting a certain item. This item allowed me to access a secret floor, and after entering the secret floor, I received the trophy, Hidden Floor. Our second to last collectible now, and we have to collect something called Soma Tree Petals. You can get these from side quests, finding them in chests, and just being out in the world. The issue with finding them is there is no indicator on where they are actually located. So once again I set off into the map to find them all. I only had a couple to go, and as I was exploring an area I realized that part of the map was darkened to indicate that I hadn't been to that specific part. Now while that was only a small bit of area, I just decided to go there anyway, and the final Soma Tree Petal was there. Collecting this gave me the trophy Elixir of Gods. This next collectible, we need to get the ingots I spoke of earlier on in this video, but the trophy was to fully upgrade my sword and bow. While I had finished upgrading my sword a while ago, it was time to finish upgrading the bow, and with this I received the trophy Blessing of Shamshir. Now this next collectible is actually the last collectible that I need to collect, and what I need to collect is all of the amulets, and wow did it take a long time. Although I did have help in the form of these two amulets. I had one which is the bird you see flying around me, and the second is an icon underneath my health in the top left. When that glows, it means that I am in an area where there is an item to collect. When the glow beats quicker, it means I am close to that item. Now the issue with this is it was for every single item and not just amulets. So I could be trying to find something for 5 minutes in an area and it ends up being not what I needed, or a lore piece that I didn't need as well. Eventually though, we found all of the amulets for the trophy, Tools of a Prophet. And with that, the first playthrough was finished. My next goal was to complete the entire game again. Thankfully though, I did not need to collect the collectibles. However, by doing so, it would mean that the game would slightly be harder, as I would not be upgrading my weapons and the health upgrades. So yeah, it would just be me completing the main game. So I got to work. 12 hours it took me. I spent my entire Sunday working on this video. Well, on this playthrough. I started at midday, give it about an hour break, and I finished just before midnight, and it is currently 2 AM on the Monday morning as I am recording this. It took me, I think in that time as well, I had about an hour break, and that was just to eat and use the bathroom. But yeah, I did it. For the side quest, I left them until after the main game was completed just to make sure. And the first side quest I did was the one that was glitched, to make sure that it was working. That way I could hopefully have none of the other trophies, well, or none of the other side quests glitch, and it never. So it was fantastic because I had to do the side quest again. I ended up fulfilling the prophecy as my final one, and of course followed my own guide to complete it. And for completing all of the side quests, we received the trophy Charitable Soul. Then of course we received the platinum trophy itself, Prince of Persia. I have to admit, these type of platforming games have never been a favorite genre of mine, but this game was absolutely amazing. It had a great story, visually it looked great, and it was great to play as well. The only downside of course was the fact that I had to do a second playthrough due to a glitch, but outside of that, the game was absolutely fantastic. If you are looking for more Platinum Trophy videos, make sure you look at the screen now. One will be a playlist of all of the Platinum Trophies that I've done so far, and the other will be what YouTube recommends that you watch next.